Hello Saber fans, this is Darth Alice or Darth Cooper on FX Sabers, and I just wanted to demonstrate one of my creations that I actually built for myself, but I'm thinking it's time to move on and give somebody else a chance to own one of these one-of-a-kind hilts and Jedi type katanas that I like to build. What I have here is an example of what I'd call the ancient Jedi type katana. If you really look back in Wookipedia and Star Wars history, they used Force phase blades, which were hardened steel blades that were imbued with the Force. Well, I wanted to take it a step further and create something that had that same look and feel, has an excellent balance point, has an authentic look to it, an old feel to it, but at the same time be extremely bright, very durable, and very durable. Little details on this saber here. What it starts with is all aircraft grade aluminum. When you look at the suba, I'll start at the front end. The suba is 1/4 inch billet aluminum that I've cut into the shape of this suba itself. It's about 3 inches by 3 inches. It's a good standard size. What I've also done is cut my own pattern in here, and then it went through a good powder coating process and then an aging process by showing reliefs in the metal itself. Something you'll notice too is the blade plug. Again, we're on the front. This is something I credit to Arkham over at FX Sabers for the idea. I've seen a couple versions of these, but what this is actually a turbine style blade plug. And what it has is a brass turbine end. And if you take a closer look, and this is also part of this whole package, if you take a closer look, it's all done with a soldered in copper. It transmits lots of light, and it looks good. Plus too, the copper is, I went through and taken off all the chrome. I burnt that off to get it more of a centered look. Again, like a jet turbine. The saber itself is a non-sound stunt model. Again, this is for somebody that wants to practice and actually have a saber that can handle full dueling contact and is extremely fast and handy to use, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. Another thing too, there has been a couple different katanas on the market I've seen, different people creating lightsabers. As far as I know, I'm the only one that's went through and built one of these using this tubular style handle. What this gives you is a 1 inch wide profile by 1.5 inch that gives you a perfect grip. Also too, the back end of this saber is made out of a solid 1 inch piece of billet aluminum to create a nice solid pommel, which acts actually as a rear end palm hand grip. The only thing holding this whole thing together that you really need access to is this, the cover tech with a small Allen head, and that holds the rear pommel on. It has a latching switch and in-hilt recharge port. Now we're going to get to the fun stuff. This thing runs 4 14500 lithium-ion 3.7 volt batteries that are again rechargeables with the PCBs built on. So in other words, it's got protections built into the battery pack. What I've done is set this thing up with a 1000 milliamp buck puck, and what that means is that we're pushing 16 volts of power to that LED. There's an LED engine, green, 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 4 die, which means this thing's pushing a little over 700 lumens, which I believe is one of the brightest sabers you're ever going to see on the market. You'll notice too, I went through and decorated this, again, both for grip, but also for functionality. This is a very heavy grade cowhide that's been printed into a crocodile type pattern. So again, and then I went through and oiled it very well too, with Obanoff oil. That's why it's got a dark chocolatey brown appearance instead of being tan. Again, it just feels buttery smooth and soft. Balance point. Let's pull this out here, this blade plug. And this does have a set screw towards the back for holding a blade. What I have here is an ultra edge heavy grade blade that has the film on the inside of it. It's about 30 inch. I tend to stick with that length because it tends to be the length from my armpit to the end of my fingertips, which for rule of thumb seems to work well for a blade length for me. Let's see. Okay, let me fire this up. I don't know if this is going to blank out the camera, but as you can see, it's extremely bright.